I never got what I wanted or needed from my parents. Believe it or not, it's optional about whether you feel okay or not okay with that. And it ain't your parents' fault, because it's a choice that's being made every single moment that it occurs to you. I didn't get what I wanted. And I think I'll make myself feel miserable, upset, resentful, regretful, and rageful about that for the rest of my life. Because that way, I get even. If I make myself drastically miserable, somehow I get even. I win. The most miserable person wins. And what an awful defeat it would be. What an awful, terrible thing it would be for me to let go of that. You can't let go of what happened, can you? Whatever happened, happened. Maybe you did or didn't get your needs met. You can't change that, and nobody can change that for you. But since that isn't now, since that isn't happening now, that's the key to freedom. Does that make sense? Just imagine that your or my happiness, our ultimate happiness, our sense of well-being, or even liberation, depended upon anybody. I can't be happy because my mom didn't love me. Okay, well then, you're screwed. If that's what's true, and if she didn't love you, you can't change that, can you? You can't go back. There is no time machine. If that's true, and if that is the reason for your unhappiness for the rest of your life, then you're done for. Because you can't change it. If that's what someone really, actually, in their deepest, deepest place believes, well then, you're in a total fatal position, aren't you? Absolutely fatal. Nothing can save you. You might as well not go to a therapist, go to a self-help thing. You might as well not come here. You might as well not do anything, if that's actually true. You see, if the cause of our misery lies only in something other than this moment, and since we can't change anything about any other moment that has ever happened, if that's the cause of our misery, ultimately, and since we can't change that, it means we can't change the cause of our misery. It means, forget it. There's nothing you can do then. Does that make sense? So many human beings, actually, they really believe that. I would get Gardner to say the vast majority of human beings believe what I just said. Inside, they may not believe it in their conscious mind, but they darn well believe it inside. At the same time, they're going about trying to make themselves more happy. But their belief says, I can't be happy because of what happened. I can't be, but I'm going to spend my life trying to do something that I don't believe I can do because the cause of my misery is back there. It's some other moment than this moment. Do you see how contradictory it becomes? How much suffering there is in it? How much sorrow there is in it? Now, of course, many people, I'm sure many people in this room, have had awful things happen to them in their life. Hurtful, terrible, destructive, very, very painful things happen in their lives. That seems to be the norm, not the exception. The exception is if you get through the first 20 years or so without having that. And nobody with any intelligence can say that, awful things don't happen to people. Awful things do happen to people. And so I'm not saying that awful things didn't happen to, I'm sure, many people in this room. Things that generated a tremendous amount of sorrow. Because that's true. That's what happens in life. As I say, that's probably more the norm. But if the events of our life were the sole reason for our unhappiness, then we're stuck. Because we can't change anything that's ever happened, good or bad. But what we can do is stop telling ourselves whatever we're telling ourselves about the past or the present that causes us to suffer. Does that make sense? That is the key. That's the liberating fact. That one thing, if you see the thing that's making me the suffering may have got started long ago. The groove of it, the conditioned tendency may have gotten started, and it may have continued up in my life till this moment, and it may have basically operated on automatic pilot without my conscious consent up till this moment. But at a certain moment, we realize I start to see that those choices to suffer that I might have made completely unconsciously, now I see them, and now I'm seeing that I'm making them consciously. I see them. I see them. And you can watch them happen. And the liberating thing is when you begin to watch them happen without judging yourself for doing them, you start to realize, my God, the keys to my own well-being are actually in my pocket.